Hi, and welcome to the channel. Today we're celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day. We're going to be flying from London, England to Dublin, Ireland on Ireland's premier flagship airline, Aer Lingus. We were parked at the stand, not gates. They call them stands. We're at stand 224 at London Heathrow. And going to be doing some European ops, which are a little different than the U.S. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Let's get inside the cockpit, get set up. Downloaded the scenery from Any Builds. This is Any Builds Heathrow. They make awesome scenery.
Refueling truck is on its way. Please don't load aircraft until
This is
the fuel
Terminal
truck
2.
arrives
Terminal
and asked
2
to do it.
is the main terminal at London Heathrow for Aer Lingus. And our cruise talk for this evening is going to be, I'm going to talk about the history of Aer Lingus and also a little bit of the history of St. Patrick, the beloved patron saint of Ireland.
Catering vehicles are on their way.
We don't have virtual Alicia, because the program doesn't seem to be working right. Until it's fixed, we're going to use, still going to have a virtual first officer though. And meet Hannah. Let's start setting up.
Roger.
Fuel truck is in position. Please don't load aircraft until the fuel truck arrives and asked to do it.
Alright, so we get some fuel on board and get the MCDU started. Our flight today should be about an hour, so hopefully we can get everything done in that time. This is Shamrock. Our call sign is Shamrock 169. Shamrock's the call sign for Aer Lingus. And 169 is actually a real flight route for Aer Lingus from London to Dublin. Listen to our lovely flight attendants today. So what's a little different? So a little different is, for one, if you remember my first stream with the Phoenix A320, I talked about transition altitude. Well, here in England and in Ireland, our transition altitude is 6,000 feet. So we're going to be turning that, going to standard at 6,000 instead of 18,000. Another thing that we do in Europe is they do not run with the wing lights on. Don't know why, but it is From my understanding, illegal to operate your wing lights unless it's during takeoff and landing. So I guess they're inspection only. They also do one-engine taxis. They like to conserve fuel. The UK, Europe, and in Ireland. So that's what we'll be doing. We'll be doing some one-engine taxis, transition altitudes of 6,000 feet. Gonna have some fun. We'll be flying at 30,000 feet this evening. Not very high, but it's a short flight.
I'm out for the walk around.
Right. Now let's set up our flight plan. Let's see what ATC gave us for our clearance.
Shamrock 169er is cleared to Dublin Airport as filed. Takeoff runway 27 right climb and maintain 6,000 feet. Departure frequency is 118.475 squawk 1374.
27 right. Yeah, 3
Shamrock 169er readback is correct. Contact ground on 121.908 when ready to taxi. Good day.
We're climbing to 6,000 feet, our transition altitude.
Boarding requested.
So you expecting we'll be expecting Ireland in Dublin 28 right.
Passengers boarding starting.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our flight. Please place your large bags into the overhead lockers, wheels first, and keep your small items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free and loose items
Maybe
of
doing the
clothing.
ILS for 2.
If you are seated in an emergency exit row or a front row bulkhead seat, all of your items must be placed into an overhead locker. Once you have safely stowed your cabin bags, please take your seat. To help us ensure an on-time departure, we would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining customers to
Oh, we're
board.
going to be doing the
As we are currently refueling,
Petrol
please ensure your seatbelt
3L
remains unfastened until the seatbelt sign is turned on. This is a no-smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
Alright, so let's check out this flight plan and see if it looks good. Okay. Alright, yeah. We have it. No brakes. Good. Okay. I'll check something real quick. Okay.
I'm back, no issues on the walk around.
Passengers are boarding. Passenger boarding, cargo's being loaded up. Our fuel's loaded, so turn on our seatbelt sign. Loading up the cargo. Yes, that's a circle. When it's working. Beautiful livery done by Comet, I believe. It's so cool. The shamrock. I think this is very fitting for today. You have to pardon my voice. A little scratchy. My lemon tea will help. I have live traffic on it. It seems like this stream runs a little better without it. So if you don't see other airplanes, that's why. Also, these engines are a little different. These aren't the IAE engines. These are the CM56 engines. They're not as powerful. It's a little different. CFM 56 engine. And they've been around, and this engine standard's been around for a long time, since 1974. It's still cool. If we can get a look. There we go. Phoenix modeling did a really good job. Let's see how we're doing in the cockpit. Yeah, we're over halfway boarded. Good. Almost all the baggage is on board. Get that all squared away, and we can continue on with our thing. Company message. Let's check that out. Now this would be a preliminary load sheet. Numbers look good. We'll accept that. So, London Heathrow Airport. We're here. We're waiting. Why don't we talk about that? London Heathrow Airport. Just called London Airport until 1966. Now it's called London Heathrow. It is the main international hub for London, the capital city of England, and the 6th largest international airport. It first opened in March 25th, 1946. That's almost 78 years old. These some statistics. Last year's statistics. Moved 79 million passengers. That's crazy. 14 miles west of London.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board our flight. Please place your large bags into the overhead lockers, wheels first, and keep your small items under the seat in front of you. These include laptops, handbags, duty-free
It's the hub for
and loose
British
items of
Airways,
clothing.
DHL
If
Aviation,
you are
and
seated
Virgin
in an
Atlantic.
emergency exit row or a front row bulkhead seat,
That's
all of your
Branson's
items must be
airline.
placed into an overhead locker. Once you have safely stowed your cabin bag, please take your seat. To help us ensure an on-time departure, we would kindly ask that you keep the aisle clear, enabling all remaining customers to board. Your seatbelt can now be fastened ready for departure. This is a no-smoking service. Thank you for observing this policy.
EPU on. Fuel flow check. Pump one on because the APU is running. Right, like a cold cockpit. Turn the probe heat on. Daylight out, so we don't need the dome. Cargo circulation's on. Alright. Alright, cargo's loaded up. All we gotta do is wait for the passengers. They're almost done. briefing together as soon as we're finished here. Oh, that's what we do, a packs off takeoff. We're going to do a full power packs off toga takeoff. That should be interesting. We'll do rocket ship mode. Remember, toga is max full power, and with the air conditioning packs off, we'll have full authority of the engine, so maximum thrust. Okay. Almost loaded. Get loaded up, we'll run some checklists, and we'll get underway. Hope everybody's enjoying their St. Patty's Day. They're imbibing the beverage of their choice. Remember, St. Patrick, he was all for the drink. He felt that everybody should have a bit of the hard stuff. So, if you can drink, I would have a cold one for St. Patrick. Oh, we're all loaded up.
Cabin crew, boarding is now complete. Any remaining ground crew, please leave the aircraft.
The McDo, as some Airbus pilots like to call it. Alright, they're off. Let's see. Departure performance calculation. And that's dry. To big 1 plus F. Toga, yes. Don't need any ice. Packs will be off. Go weather and calculate. So V1 152, VR 152. Our point of no return.
Hi guys, here's the load sheet for you.
Okay, thanks.
No problem. Have a safe flight.
So our point of no return and our liftoff speed are the same. Then V2 we have to achieve for our engine out. Transition altitude is 6,000 feet. We are not flexing because we are going full power. I'm going to send that to the McDo. All right, set up. Wow, it was pretty close. They guessed. All right.
Are you ready for the departure brief?
Go ahead.
Okay, the newest weather shows good conditions.
Her.
We'll plan to push and start for a 2-engine taxi. There are no hot spots along our taxi route. It will be a left seat takeoff, and no need for radar today. We'll plan on a normal thrust takeoff. Prior to V1, for any master warning, engine fire, or failure that will prevent the aircraft from flying safely, we'll abort and stop on the runway. After V1, we'll take it flying and deal with it in the air and plan to come back here. Our top threat will be complacency. Any questions?
No questions.
Okay, that completes the brief.
Cockpit preparation checklist.
Ear pins and covers.
Removed.
Fuel quantity.
£14 balanced.
Seatbelt.
On.
Adheres.
Nav.
Barrel ref.
2994 set.
2994. Set. Cockpit preparation checklist completed.
Oh, you know what? You need to go to the metric version. We're not in the US. Change that up a bit. Units. I'm going to keep feet. Do hectopascals. Keep weight in pounds because I goofed. I did the flight plan in pounds. All right.
Hey guys, all packs are on board. Are we clear to close?
Yes.
Thanks. Let me know if you need anything.
All right, let's get underway. Because, you know, it's a flying channel, not a sitting on the ground channel. Four start checklist.
Parking brake.
Set.
Takeoff speeds and thrust.
Toga.
Hello, Captain. We are ready
Set
for
and
pushback.
checked.
V1 152 VR 152 V2 153. Windows.
Closed.
Beacon.
On.
Before start checklist completed.
Sounds like she's from Scotland.
Departure checks completed. Bypass pin inserted.
Okay. Tow truck hooking up.
Locking gear.
We're going to do an engine 1, then engine 2 start. Actually, we're not going to start engine 2. We're going to do a 1 engine taxi. Make the nose right.
Release parking brakes, please. Commencing push. All engines clear. Start at will.
Starting engine 1.
Okay.
Cabin crew, arm doors and cross-check. Ladies and gentlemen, please observe the cabin crew member closest to you as we are about to demonstrate the safety features of our Airbus A320 aircraft. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard our Airbus A320. Please pay attention to illuminated signs and crew instructions including the following safety procedures. The safety card found in your seat pocket can
Shamrock 169er taxi to and hold short of runway 27 right using taxiway Bravo Lima India November Kilo 27 Alpha Lima India November Kilo 23 Lima India November Kilo 22 Alpha 2 cross runway
Let's
27
me,
right Alpha 1.
emergency exits on this
Contact
aircraft.
tower on
Cabin crew are now
118.705
do the
pointing
checklist
towards
for
nearest to you. Please be
engine
aware
taxi.
that your nearest
I
usable
don't know.
exit may
We'll
be
see.
behind you. Emergency lighting will guide you to an exit. In an emergency, leave all baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted and released as shown. It must be fastened whenever the seatbelt signs are on, and we recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen.
Please set parking
Put
brake.
the mask over your nose and mouth and breathe normally.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
With the strap, pull on each side to
Yeah,
adjust.
a good engine
Put on your
start.
own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take a life jacket from under
Cockpit to
your seat.
ground. We have a good engine
Put
start.
a pouch
You can disconnect.
over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist and click together. Pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate the life jacket inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate it by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into this tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. The cabin crew can assist you with
Oh,
life
come on,
jackets
guys.
for children. Your tray table must
Let's,
now be stowed, armrest down,
Unlocking gear.
window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. Further information regarding your safety on board can be found in the in-flight
Well,
magazine.
we'll pick up with the
We hope you
checklist
have
and
a
the
great
preparation
flight.
when we get closer to the runway. So with one engine taxi, we turn off the APU bleed
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
and turn on the electric hydraulic pump so we can
Left is clear.
pressurize the
Right is clear.
and pressurize the hydraulic system so we can have steering and good stuff like that. She's going to wave the pin flag at us, let us know that she pulled the pin so we can verify it. We flash our taxi lights at her. Yep, see you later. Alright, so we'll continue on when we get closer. But we're Aer Lingus, so we're going to save our company some gas money. Check out that company message. It's going to be our final. Final load sheet. 174 passengers and 1 child. So when we get out of the terminal area, we'll start our engine. Start engine 2. Because our lovely first officer is waiting patiently for us to do our engine 2 start. And we can't do our other checks with her until we get that done. So. Looks like a good place. Oh, we're gonna set our parking brake. We're gonna turn the APU bleed back on because we need that air, turn that engine. We're going to shut off that hydraulic electric pump. Turn our controls back to start. Start engine 2. So we'll go outside. And we talked about the spinner. The ground crew can see that the engine's running. Here we go. After start checklist.
Anti-ice.
Off.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Pitch trim.
30% set. 30% set.
Rudder trim.
Neutral.
After start checklist completed.
Flight controls.
Ready. Full down. Full up. Neutral. Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Rudder.
Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Gonna check the same thing. Clear left side.
Clear right side.
Brake check.
Pressure 0.
Taxi checklist.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Checked. Flap setting.
Config 1 plus F.
Config 1 plus F. Radar and predictive wind shear system.
On
Cabin
and
crew
auto.
seats for takeoff.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
ECAM memo.
Take off, no blue.
Taxi checklist completed.
Hi,
Cockpit.
Captain. The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Thank you. All right, we are ready to go. Take all these lovely Irish passengers back to their home. Seems that I went the wrong way. Turn around here. Paying attention. I went to, we could just swing it. I forgot we said we were 27 right. Okay, no big deal. The Airbus A320 is very maneuverable. I just wanted to give you a tour of the Concorde that's parked on at the museum. That's what it was. We intended that. We're a scenic airline. Anna, you were supposed to tell me you were going the wrong way. You're fired. Just kidding. Vehicle crossing, that's what this lines out here in front of us are. Here we are. We're at the right runway now. 27 right.
Shamrock 169er altimeter 29er decimal 9er 41200 at 6. Cleared for takeoff runway 27 right.
Cleared for takeoff. Cleared for departure.
Takeoff runway confirmed. Approach path clear of traffic.
Of course it is. We're the only traffic in the world right now. Because of the wonders of virtual flight. So these have very long runways because a lot of long haul aircraft coming here. 747s, A380, Concorde would land here. Lineup checklist.
Takeoff runway.
27 right confirmed.
Runway 27 right confirmed. TCAS.
PARA.
Packs 1 and 2.
Off.
Lineup checklist completed.
Kill the APU. Alright, here we go. Rocket mode. So we're going to spool these up to 50%. Let them climb up, stabilize. You want to make sure they're stabilized so that we don't get any kind of asymmetrical thrust. Because that could be bad, especially if we go full power. Yeah, it would just fling us right off the runway. Alright, here we go. Mantoga SRS runway auto thrust blue.
Thrust set 100 knots.
Check.
B1,
Center
rotate.
line. There we go.
Positive climb.
Gear up.
Gear up.
Shamrock 169er, contact London Center on 118.475. Good day. Shamrock 169er, London Center, altimeter 29er.9er for radar contact. Continue to D255G.
Packs are on.
Alright. Pilot 1 on.
Shamrock 169er, climb and maintain flight level 180.
Off course.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep your seatbelt fastened whilst the seatbelt sign is on. We recommend that you keep your seatbelt
Flap
fastened
0.
whenever you are seated.
Speed checked.
The toilets are
Flat
located
0.
at each end of the cabin. Remember that smoking is not permitted at any time. This includes e-cigarettes. In just a few moments, we will commence our in-flight service, offering you the chance to choose from our fresh selection available today. Full details can be found in your in-flight brochure. You can also purchase a selection of hot beverages together with drinks and snacks from the bar. We accept all major credit and debit cards.
Alright.
If we can be of any further assistance, just ask us as we join you in the cabin shortly.
And
Standard cross checked. Passing flight level 073. Now.
check. Alright, we're all set up. Above 6,000, so our standard is set. Very cloudy English day. Probably some rainstorms, typical. Clear radnav.
Okay.
So the reason we oversped a little bit and things got a little wonky was because after takeoff I didn't pitch up for a climb. I was supposed to go to 20 degrees and I stayed at 10. So we made a little error, but we were able to fix it. No big deal. And as such, the passengers would never even have noticed that. But you'll let them go to the bathroom now. Seatbelts off. Cool cloud formations. Climbing up, do a climb check, check the pressurization gauge page. Our cabin's climbing, nice comfortable rate, and our cabin altitude is dropping. Good. The vents are on, packs are on. And we probably saved, so doing the one engine taxi, could have done it a little longer. Probably saved our company, Aer Lingus, about 100 kilos of fuel. And you're thinking, oh, that's 100 kilos. But if everybody's doing it across the airline, it comes several tons of fuel. So cost savings are a thing. And they can pass it on to customers. And it's fairly cheap. So a one-way ticket from London to Dublin on Aer Lingus goes for about 70 pounds. Which isn't bad if you think about the cost of airlines. Flight level 300 managed. Flight level 300 managed. There we go. Let the first officer do all the work. All right, so let's see here. Cruise. I get a good time when we oh, okay. 3 o'clock. So less than an hour. So Aer Lingus. Why the funny name, right? So Aer Lingus is actually the Anglican version of Gaelic name Aer Lingus, which means air fleet. So Aer Lingus was formed in 1936 with a capital of 100,000 pounds. And the first chairman of the board was Sean O'Hadahal? Oh, I'm sorry. I cannot speak Gaelic. He had a very Gaelic last name. The government eventually took over Aer Lingus and actually remained its operator until recently. 2015, I believe, it became privatized again. Aer Lingus owns also a famous airline. Well, it doesn't own, partial owns 27% of the stock for Ryanair, which is, you see a lot of TikToks and everything about Ryanair. They joke about the rough landings that they do. On May 27th, 1936, 5 days of being registered as an airline, it begins service between Baldano Airfield in Clondalkin, Dublin, and Bristol Airport in the United Kingdom. And they flew the de Havilland Dragon. Gee. Very old biplane. It's like kind of like a Ford tri-motor without the third engine on it. Very interesting. In the 1940s, a new airport opened up in Dublin, suburbs of Collinstown, and Aer Lingus moved its operations there. Purchased a brand new DC-3 and inaugurated the new air service from Dublin to Liverpool, and then there was internal service finally added to Shannon. Shannon's very interesting because Shannon in Irish aviation, Shannon is the welcoming point of almost every North Atlantic crossing. When airplanes come from the United States and Canada, and they fly the North Atlantic Passage, after talking to Oceanic for 4 hours, 5 hours, the first ones they talk to is Shannon Center. There's just a little tidbit of information. So Ireland welcomes all the northern air traffic to Europe. And then during World War II, they added another route to Manchester. And Manchester to Dublin is actually still a common route to use. In 1945, the regular air service resumed after the war, with an inaugural flight to London in mostly DC-3s. It wasn't until almost the 1950s they started international service crossing the Atlantic. It was December of 1960 that Aer Lingus got their first jet, a Boeing 720. And it was used on their New York route. In 1966, they added Montreal and Chicago, and picked up a bunch of the brand new Boeing 737s. We all know what the Boeing 737 is, but these were the first ones. In 1969. And in 71, they picked up 747s. When my wife went to Ireland, when she was in college, she studied to be a chef. She went to school for 3 weeks in Ireland. It was part of her studying overseas. She flew Aer Lingus 747 from JFK to Dublin. That's pretty much it. 1936 until still operating present day, now operating modern aircraft. a large Airbus fleet, the A320 that we're flying now, and they have A321s and the A320neos. They operate A330s for their transatlantic. The 747 has been mothballed. Aer Lingus also bought the brand new Airbus A350s, which was the A350 is the Airbus answer to the Boeing 787. Also a very cool aircraft, very long range. The Airbus A350 has the range it could go from Dublin, Ireland to Sydney, Australia, non-stop. So that's a long flight. Talking like probably 20 hours on a plane. So that's crazy. So we're actually almost to our top of descent. So we learned about Aer Lingus. It's Ireland's very famous airline. Great tribute to Ireland and Ireland's aviation age. So St. Patrick, okay. St. Patrick, everybody's favorite Irish non-Irishman. St. Patrick was born in 385. AD. And his name was not Patrick. He was born of Roman parents, Roman transplants to the Roman occupied England at the time. So St. Patrick wasn't actually Irish. St. Patrick was born in Britain, Scotland or Wales. Now I've seen where they've said that he was born in Kilpatrick, which is just out of Glasgow. His parents' name were Calpurnius and Conchessa. And as a teenager, about 14 years old, St. Patrick was kidnapped by a pirate raiding party, sold into slavery. And as a slave, he looked after herded sheep for many years. Actually, it was about 2.5 years, because at 16 years old, he escaped back from Ireland back to England, where he joined a monastery, became a priest, and then eventually a bishop, and then made his way back to Ireland, where he did his ministry. One second. You have control? You have control.
I have control.
I'm going to set up for our descent here. So when he became a priest, that's when he changed his name to Patrick. It's believed that Patrick was actually taken from Patricus, which means father. Roamed all over Ireland, mainly staying in Dublin. And he ministered to the Celtic people. Set our winds. Temperature is 9 Celsius. We're going to do Cat 2, so we're going to do radio landing. And well, with that set up, we can be ready for our descent. I have control.
You have control.
Okay. I'm going to go off. I have my flight plan up already on my iPad. I'm just going to look at that so I don't have to look back and forth at the in-plane tablet. I'm going to need 3,000 feet for our initial. So another little known fact about St. Patrick was that he didn't wear green. He wore blue, actually. He was known to wear blue robes. And any of the depictions that the Irish have, he was wearing blue. The shamrock was popularized by St. Patrick. He used it as a teaching for a Catholic belief in the Holy Trinity. The way the shamrock is shaped, he could easily visually depict how the Holy Father, Son, and Holy Spirit can all be one. That shamrock is 3 leaves in one. St. Patrick most likely did not drive out all the snakes of Ireland, as myths do proclaim. Scientists have said that Ireland is too cold for snakes, and that's why Ireland has no snakes. Sorry, Ireland. So, St. Patrick's original name was Mewin Succat. I'm just butchering names. St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, is held on the day that he passed. So, St. Patrick died on March 17th in a little village outside of Belfast. So, St. Patrick isn't really a saint, guys. St. Patrick has never been officially canonized. He's just recognized as the people, by the people, as a saint. But the Catholic Church does recognize him as a spiritual figure. St. Patrick loved his drink and was common. He preached that everybody should have a drop of the hard stuff now and then. St. Patrick there's a legend that St. Patrick's walking stick grew into a tree while he was preaching. Tells a story that he left his ashwood walking stick in the ground while he went off to try to convert the villagers of a small town to Christianity. The efforts took so long, however, that the walking stick became an ash tree, which is now that takes the name of the town, Sparta, Cumbria. So that's a little bit about St. Patrick too. Our famous saint, non-saint, Irishman, non-Irishman. So we'll figure that one out. But here's to you, Ireland. Happy St. Patrick's Day. And we're going to start our descent soon. Told you this was going to be a short flight. That's why we don't go very high. Because if we'd have spent most of the time climbing if we would have went any higher. And we would have burnt more fuel. Remember, we're always trying to save that dollar. Or that British pound. All right, and I even, though I could do the stream, I even slowed us down. We'd have been even faster if we'd have done a normal cost index. But you can see we're only cruising at 0.68 Mach. Normally we're up at 0.78. So we're 10, pretty much 10 miles an hour slower. No, 100 miles an hour slower. Just to give us some time to do our cruise talk and learn about Aer Lingus and good old St. Patrick. Oh, one last company message. Did we leave on time? That's what it's going to be. EIN Ops, Aer Lingus. Yep, we left on time. No excuses needed. How about that? Alright, less than 20 miles to our TOD, our top of descent. Gonna just double check our approach. Sorry, so that's right, Ireland is 1,000 feet lower for our transition altitude, so we're at 5,000 feet for them. We're gonna almost be landing when we pick up the local barometric pressure. The west coast of England. This would actually be Wales. Start down a little early. So compared to our first stream in the A320, where we did a destabilized cowboy approach, we're gonna nail this one this time. I know it. We're doing an ILS instrument landing approach to runway 28 right. The instrument landing approaches are a little more stable because remember our flight into Savannah, we did a non-precision approach, and I let the plane get ahead of me, and well, we were all over the place, but we were able to wrangle it in, and we did a pretty good landing, so we're going to do an even better one this time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will shortly be landing. Please ensure your cabin bag is safely stowed with your laptop inside. Your tray table must be stowed, armrests down and window blinds open.
So internationally, the speed limit altitude, where we cannot go above 250, is 10,000 feet. Where the transition altitudes vary, the international standard is 10,000, no matter where you go in the world. Only time you can go faster than 250 under 10,000 is with permission from ATC and those big heavies like 747s, A330s. They need a little more speed to maintain lift. So they can go a little faster. But they need permission from ATC, and they need a good spacing vectors so that they don't overrun any planes, because everyone else is going to be doing 250 or less. So our cabin's descending nicely. We go to our systems page for landing. And we never got the brief together, so we're going to do weather's good, runway's dry. We're going to turn the APU on, yes. We'll be doing an ILS approach. I'm going to say aviation's Heathrow. We're not going to be doing anything. We're going to make this our final sector because we're not going again. Yes, that'll be required. Minimum descent altitude will be 200. Position altitude of 5,000. And our decision height above ground is going to be 200 because we're doing it's above sea level, so.
Are you ready for the arrival brief?
Go ahead.
Our current weather shows nice VFR conditions, and we've got the arrival and approach for guidance and FMS for descent planning to get down to the airport. It'll be an ILS approach. The runway is dry, and we take the first available turn and taxi to the gate per ATC instructions. Once cleared, we can plan to start the APU for taxi in. Primary threat will be general aviation in the area. Any questions?
No questions.
Brief complete.
I have control.
You have control.
So, this body of water right here is the Irish Sea. The way our flight plan is going to go, we're going to go right up the Irish Sea, over the Isle of Man, or near the Isle of Man, and then turn into do our approach onto Dublin. Ireland, although it's obscured, if we had a clear day we probably could see the Irish Isle over here. Definitely be able to see the English coast come out of this turn. Or haze will prevent that. Okay, weather, make a liar out of me. There's the Irish coast. There's England. Okay. So we're gonna keep this standard up all the way down to 5,000. Already slowed down to our 250. Helped that we were going a little slower. Belt signs are on, all the passengers are secure. Remember, we're not US up, so we're gonna keep the wing light off.
Shamrock 169er, please expedite your climb flight level 300.
Oh, Microsoft ATC, oh, we hate you.
Shamrock 169er, climb and maintain flight level 240. Expect flight level 230.
I'm gonna do this just so it stops crying at me to climb.
Shamrock 169er, climb and maintain flight level 230.
I think it's so cool that their call sign's Shamrock.
Shamrock 169er, descend and maintain 13,000 feet.
That should take us to our flight.
Shamrock 169er, descend and maintain 13,000 feet. Expect 3,000 feet.
That should prevent them from crying to us the whole way down. when I get better acquainted with online flying, we'll do more of that on this channel. It's very daunting if you're not used to it, because it can be very realistic. We follow all the rules and regulations, the international code and FAA. So it takes some practice. But I tell you what, if we were flying online, though, it would not be screaming at us to climb. They would be like, "Oh, they'd be telling us to descend right now." We're 95 miles away from Dublin. So we're almost there, folks.
Shamrock 169er contact Shannon Center on 132.15. Good day. Shamrock
Okay.
169er
Contact Shannon Center.
altimeter 29er.84 radar contact. Continue to Vatry.
Welcoming ATC to Ireland, both sides of the aisle. Oil my seat. Oh, this is nice and stable, and I like this. Nice, gentle load down. We're not even 1 degree angle of descent. Passengers are all nice and comfy back there. I don't even feel any. Guarantee that I don't even feel any forces coming down so lightly. Hopefully, I didn't jinx myself. So when they give those speed limits, just a tidbit for aviation, when they give those speed limits, that is airspeed and not ground speed. We could still be doing 300 across the ground, but as long as this ticket here, this ticker here, or the speed tape, I call it, is below 250, we're good.
Shamrock 169er descend
The
and
ground
maintain
speed
7,000 feet. Keep speed none above 220 knots.
can really manage. Now, for spacing purposes, they might tell us to go slower. 250 is too fast because of winds, and our ground speed is so they, ATC's purpose for all airplanes coming into airports is to separate and maintain safety. So they might tell us descend and maintain 7,000, flight level 7,000. Maintain no more than 210. So then we would have to slow down to 210 because the ground speed was probably too fast. Or the planes were just bunched up. It's not necessarily that too. So they all want to maintain separation. Very laid back flight today. Not a lot of excitement. Nice leisurely flight to Dublin. Give a shout out to Ireland on this St. Patrick's Day. Hoping. So this right here is our intersect point for the instrument landing approach. If I can get down to 3,000, close to it somewhere here, we can cut right across and save us some time and fuel. And that's actually, that happens a lot in real world aviation. They will come down, we'll start the star or standard terminal arrival, and they'll issue us shortcuts. There's not a lot of traffic, and so the reason this is drawn like this, and the reason this star is set up like this, is actually for aircraft separation. So, you know, if a lot of planes were coming into Dublin, they would follow this track so they can spread them out, because it takes longer to get to that point.
169er contact Dublin approach on 121.1. Good day.
Alright, Hannah turned on our lights.
Shamrock 169er Dublin approach altimeter 29.80 radar contact. Continue to soar.
Coach checklist.
Barrel ref.
Oh, a little early on that. Too much US. Cancel checklist.
Roger.
Too much US operations. I'm used to calling for that after 10,000. But we gotta go down to 5. What's our speed restriction here? Oh. I want us to slow down to 220. So that's what we're going to start doing. Gets us a little above profile, but hopefully not too far. A little drag. Not too much. We'll have to start bringing us on profile again. And we're looking for that little green dot. Come back up to altitude. But we also don't want to get into this range. Can't give it full flat, full spoilers. Speed brakes. Alright. Back on track. Just like that. So, how far away are we from Abu? I think we could go direct.
Cabin crew must now be seated for landing. Thank you.
Cockpit.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for landing.
Thank you. Maybe we'll go to Pisa. I don't want to mess it up because we're actually pretty good. Oh.
Shamrock 169er, please expedite your descent 3,000 feet.
Well, let's follow Microsoft. Microsoft's ATC is telling us we can go to the 3,000 feet, so let's open descent. So what open descent does is takes us down at a standard set based on speed, on thrust, which is thrust idle, and ignores all restrictions of the flight plan. So then we're going to go direct. Let's see. We're going to go direct Abbeville. Because I think we can make the profile. Flaps 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1.
And now we're below 5,000, so we can set our local baro.
1009 set, passing 4,100. Now.
And then we'll look at our next one, so 2,500 for
Shamrock 169er keeps speed
Kiddo.
not above 210 knots.
And we'll go right down to our final approach fix. Approach checklist.
Barrel ref.
1009 set.
1009 set. Seatbelt.
On.
Minimum.
200 feet set.
Auto brake.
Medium on.
Engine mode selector. Radar altimeter alive.
Normal.
Approach checklist completed.
Down to 180. Get some more flaps out. When we get below 200, we can go flaps 2. Activate approach phase. Flaps 2.
Speed checked. Flaps 2.
right on path. There's the Irish coastline. There's Dublin Airport. Beautiful clear day. Visual even this far out. We'll cross Abbeyview. And then our next will be Okito. And Okito will be our final approach fix. So we'll start our descent into the runway. So as we approach Okito, which is right here, we'll go manage speed and we'll drop out our gear and all our flaps and set up for the landing. The cloud shadows, that's pretty cool. So realistic. Visuals are crazy. Gear down.
Gear down.
There we go. Manage speed. Let the computer control our throttle. Flaps 3.
Speed checked. Flaps 3.
Flaps full.
Speed checked. Flaps full.
Overshot the glide slope. Very correctable now.
Shamrock 169er, wind 212 at 9er.
Landing
Clear to land
checklist.
runway 28
Ecam
right.
memo.
Landing no blue. There we go. Glide slope back. Capture. And we'll go back to slowing down. Landing no blue.
Landing checklist completed.
All right, guys. Next stop.
1000.
1000. $500.
$100 above.
100 above.
Minimums.
Continue.
Minimum
Continue.
Checked.
100. 50, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
Beautiful landing.
Spoilers.
Little off
Reverse
center
screen.
line, but
Decel.
beautiful.
70 knots.
Check. Bring it out thrust buster.
Shamrock
Kill the
169er,
auto brake.
exit runway when able.
I will take that landing any day. That was butter.
Shamrock 169er.
Welcome
contact
to
ground
Dublin, Ireland.
121.8.
While you enjoy your stay here, you can visit St. Patrick's Cathedral, very prominent church. Also, the Guinness Brewery. Gonna stop here, clean up.
Ladies and gentlemen, the cabin crew will shortly be leaving their seats to perform safety-related duties. However, we ask that you remain seated until the
See what
fasten
gate we're gonna go
seatbelt
to.
sign has been switched off. Portable electronic devices for messaging, calls, or internet access may now be used. Please make
like
sure
that
you
one.
take all your personal belongings
Never
with
been
you,
here before, so
checking
we're
in
gonna
the
get
seat
the
pocket, underneath the
we're gonna get
seat,
the follow
and
me.
in the overhead lockers. Do take
After
care
landing
opening
checklist.
the overhead lockers
Radar and
as
predictive
items
wind
may
shear
have
system.
moved during flight.
Off.
Smoking is
After
not
landing
permitted
checklist completed.
until you reach a designated smoking area. On behalf of the captain and the crew, it has been our pleasure looking after you today. Our ground crew will help you complete your journey.
I'm gonna start the chrono. Because after 3 minutes we can shut down engine 2. don't know if GSX is going to work. I didn't run an update after I installed these new sceneries. Sometimes you got to run an update, but we'll see. We'll make do. So as long as we don't go, this is N1, this is our forward fan speed. As long as we don't power up past 30 on here, we can keep this. We don't have to reset this clock, and we can shut down engine 2. Alright, let's follow our Aer Lingus follow me car. Try not to get too close. We're coming. That's our 3-minute mark. Shut down engine 2. What was that? Did I see that little flip? Doing a little moonwalk, I guess. I don't know. Oh, GSX. And we're using our minimum power. Nine knot speed. We gotta go slow. That push cart doing all the way out here? So the pushback tug guy is going for a little cruise. Yes. I guess there's some gates that way. I guess it makes sense. You need a pushback tug out over there. That follow me car is funny. Keeps doing little flip turns. Gotta love glitches. Here's our turn. Taxi light off. Oh, electronic marshaller. See if I can get it perfect. Alright. Kill thing. Kill the engine.
Cabin crew
Very good parking. I win the prize. Marshall gonna do a little dance? Nope. Sometimes they do a little weird dance. Doesn't look like we have a gate, folks.
The boarding requested.
Parking checklist.
Parking brake or chocks.
Set.
Engines.
Off.
Wing lights.
Off.
Fuel pumps.
Off.
Parking checklist completed.
Yep. Gonna be bussing our passengers.
Passengers bus is coming.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. welcome to Dublin once again. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Our Aer Lingus passenger stairs. Open the rear door. You watch the passengers come out, and then here's the bus.
Passengers deboarding starting.
Bags are coming off. There we go. So this takes a little longer than a jetway because the buses can only hold 60 people and then they have to bring another bus. So with that, our passengers deboarding, our baggage is coming off. Again, happy St. Patrick's Day, and thank you for joining me on this flight with Aer Lingus to lovely Dublin, Ireland, and thank you for watching. Until the next video, bye.